This is why I don't want to grow big. I mean, look at it. 1 second you notice that and you're happy and demonetized. I guess it's the hazard of the content that people like myself are making, which is pretty much like political commentary, like we're the Let's Players of news. I read something and I try to put a funny spin to it sometimes, or otherwise I try to give it a different take. And people like myself, I don't think it's a good idea to be big, because then you get noticed. And when you get noticed, punishment starts to happen. Now, in the case of Count Dankula, it seems that all of his channel got demonetized. And it's interesting because this already happened to him. Like some of his videos at first were demonetized because they were a little bit too edgy. And Count Dankula says, like he was fine with it. But most of his other videos, he filed for manual review and they were confirmed. And it turns out that in December, all of his videos were receiving the piss yellow color. And his entire channel got demonetized, even the videos that were previously approved for monetization, right? So he was a little upset about the situation, rightfully so, like I would be as well. But now it appears that his entire channel has been demonetized. No explanation given, no reason for why this is, and his ability to talk to a YouTube employer was also taken away. Now, the only thing that we can do in this particular situation is to speculate. Right? You just go like, why would this happen? Right? Why to him and not to someone else? Because I know Count Dankula, like he's not that controversial, right? And the likely culprit might be this wonderful BuzzFeed article in which they mentioned that Tommy Robinson, which is far right according to Mark DiStefano, has been punished by YouTube, and his ability to make money has been taken away. Now, within this article, they also mention Michan as being far right. Now, if BuzzFeed claims that Michan is far right, who am I to disagree? They don't elaborate. They don't even explain what far right is. I guess this is something that I need to learn from mommy and daddy at home. The press never actually explains what far right means. Like, this is something that, again, I need to educate myself. But apparently, Michan is part of this particular ideology. And YouTube got wisdom from BuzzFeed, as people speculate, and they understood that something needs to be done about it, because BuzzFeed is playing that game that journalists seem to play recently after they managed to get the Power Stone, which is to name the YouTuber, right? So they point their finger at the YouTuber, they name him, and then the YouTuber gets demonetized or taken off the platform, or usually like unsavory things happen to them, right? Now I understand that every now and then a YouTuber would make a video about a journalist, and then the subscribers would go and post negative criticism to that journalist's Twitter, and that is horrible, that is unacceptable. But when the journalists just point their finger at the YouTuber and goes, "You're far right," that's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. That is normal. That is decent. By the way, PewDiePie is the only one that manages to shield himself from these attacks. Like, they constantly call him far right and nothing happens to him. Like, I need PewDiePie, train me, I will pay you money. I will pay, contact me, tell me how you're doing it. Like, we can definitely save YouTubers. We'll tell Dankula how you managed to do it. By the way, what I love about this article, like, this is amazing. BuzzFeed is one of the few publications that actually has a comment section. And as you go down to the comment section, it reminds me of that scene from 1984 movie, right? Where they show Goldstein on the big screen, and everyone, it's like the moment of hate. And everyone is just screaming at the screen, and they're angry. They're angry at Goldstein, and look at this. He's a pretty fancy Nancy for a Nazi. Does his iron cross get hard in the company of other wannabe Nazi trash? I guess that's about Mr. Robinson. Call him by his real name. Stephen Yaxley Lennon Power Word, real name. Let's shut down his hatred and intolerance once and for all. What? What does that mean? Shut down his hatred and intolerance once and for all. Can you elaborate on that, please? Something smells fishy. This journal has been colluding with YouTube employees to push his agenda. Oh, Wyatt. Okay, hot take incoming, right? From BuzzFeed itself. Patriotism is cancer. Stop fondling your flag. It's important to draw a line between patriotism and nationalism. Both are cancer. Nobody cares where you are from. You are wrong. Patriotism is cancer and you are clearly a victim. By the way, these are the correct people of society. Like, you need to watch them in their normal environment and try to emulate, replicate what you see if you don't want to be hit by the demonetization hammer, right? Because money is meant for the good people. Bad people shouldn't get money, right? They should be excommunicated from civilized society. Which is what Michan is actually pointing out. Some people told him to get a real job, and Michan said, like, I know I shouldn't do YouTube as a full-time career, but due to the nature of the media shitstorm surrounding me, he got a Nazi to lift its paw when he says Sieg Heil. That is the atrocity that he committed. I'm not even joking, like, he did that. So due to that, he can't get a job anywhere. Like, no one would hire him. He is unhireable, right? I also like the concept of get a real job. Like, do you understand how many anti-capitalist people are there? Like, being an entrepreneur, making your own business is bad. You shouldn't. You should work for the government, I assume. By the way, like, what is the difference between a BuzzFeed employer and someone like me? Because I'm looking at what people from BuzzFeed do. Like, they go on the Twitter, they take tidbits from here and there and they make an article. So I guess that's a real job. But what Count Dankula does, making a funny YouTube video, that's not a real job. Anyway, that is a conversation for another time. It seems that he's in a financial predicament, especially since half of his patrons jumped ship because Sargon said the N-word. This seems to have hurt him financially, and I thought this is going to be a gloom and doom type of video. I thought that I'm not going to be able to give you any good news. However, Gerard Batten, EMP, Count Dankula, UKIP member, has been demonetized by YouTube. He can't now earn advert income from his postings. No reason has been given. Alternative media voices are being closed down or denied income. If you don't follow him already, do it now. Fight back. And a couple of minutes later, someone just tweeted back, he should get a real fucking job, the Scottish bum. That gives me an idea. I'll invite him to seek UKIP candidacy for the Scottish Parliament in the next election. There's a real job for you. I was like, holy shit. Like, can you understand? Like, this man, Count Dankula, might have just managed to be the first man in history that shitposted his way into Parliament. And obviously it's not sure yet, right? Like, people still need to vote for him. But it is interesting, isn't it? Like, he just made the funny, and because of that, he might get into Unbelievable. Now, here's a more burning question, right? This one is actually quite interesting. Now, I'm sure, again, like, many people know that because he wanted to mock Nazis and ridicule Nazis, but as we know, that might be problematic in the UK. Ever since the Anna Sobri incident, I understand that in the UK, Nazis might be considered the protected class. But ever since that particular joke, he has been sued. Like, he went to court because making a joke. No, like in Britain, you got, like, in the entire country, you need to understand this, right? There is a tiny corner, and that is the free speech corner, right? So if you're there, allegedly you can make jokes. Legend has it. We don't know, like, what can happen if you make it there. Like, sometimes people weren't allowed to have free speech even in the corner, but usually, like, outside of the corner, you shouldn't joke. British people are very serious, they're very gloomy people, right? So if you make jokes, you need insurance, because it can turn out that the government can arrest you. And if the government arrests you, then you have to pay a fine. Now, in the case of Count Dankula of Michan, he had to pay $1,000 or £1,000. Sorry, my bad. They don't use dollars, and he refused to pay. British people again are these weird folk that have these things called principles. I don't understand. As a Eastern European, it's a concept that's kind of hard to grasp, but apparently he does have it, right? So he didn't pay the fine, and he was supposed to go to jail. But as I understand it, like the state didn't contact him, like they didn't send police after him. So now he is in this thing called the limbo. He's not going to jail, but he might. But he does. Can you understand living like this? All right, like just imagine living like this. Like you don't pay a fine, you know what the punishment is, and no one contacts you. Like they don't even say, all right, you shouldn't pay the fine, or all right, we're going to arrest you. Like, no. So again, like I don't know what this means. If he doesn't pay the fine, if he goes to prison, will he still be able to run for office or not? Would be interesting if they wait until before the elections and then they arrest him so he misses them. Might also be a thing that could potentially, something that I envision it in nightmares. Hopefully it's not in reality, but I'm just thinking of the worst. I'm just hypothesizing since we're in the dark. Right. Let me know what you think. Michan, if you're watching this, I wish you the best. I wish you get through to this difficult time, and hopefully it's just a YouTube inconsistency. Hopefully someone made a whoopsie, and your channel is going to be reverted back to the beautiful green that it used to be.